Yo, guys, it is RDS here, back on Red Marvel for another review. And today it is Fantastic Four First Steps, a spoiler review. Before we get into it, guys, remember to like, share, and subscribe to Red Marvel. Follow us on that bottom right-hand corner and smash that like button, guys. Let us get into it. So, yeah, basically, it's a spoiler review, by the way. Spoilers, 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 spoilers. So if you don't want to see, this is a spoiler review. Spoilers, 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 spoilers. So there you go. You've been warned. Um, so let's get into it. Basically, I think first and foremost, I want to just talk about. I think this was a good movie, enjoyable movie. Is the MCU back from this movie? Not yet, but again, like the movie says, first steps, first steps. Um, I think you can definitely say this is the best Fantastic Four movie. I can have a debate with anyone on that fact. Is it the best interpretation of the Fantastic Four in any sort of televised medium? No, I personally preferred the animated cartoon series, I think from the 2000s, not the early 90s ones. That was, but the 2000s one from on Cartoon Network, the one with I probably might do a TV review about that at some point. But yeah, that was good. But yeah, I think in certainly in the movie verse it is, So yes, the 2005 has a special place in my heart. But I think overall, in terms of the combination of the effects, the comic accuracy, the chemistry between sort of characters and what have you, I think that this does it better, as well as the sort of the villain sort of presence. Because a good movie is not just about the heroes, but it's also about the villain as well. And we're going to talk about the villain later because Galactus cooks, in my opinion. Galactus cooks. So a bit about first of all about the casting. I think individually, I think the casting for all the characters was good. I think if you take them, it's weird for instance, if you take them as individuals when they're by themselves, they're great, they're fantastic. You know, Ben Grimm, the scenes that he's in where you're kind of exploring, his kind of like, because obviously unlike Superman as well, they've not gone the whole origin story again. They do a quick montage. I actually think this works actually better. I wish Superman did this where rather than giving this kind of like Star Wars s like letters and stuff, they just basically just sort of announce while they're telling you they've been around for a while. This is it, and they show you clips of them fighting different superheroes and things stuff like that. And that way, you're introducing them, but you're not really focusing on attention to. And they introduce a lot of the standard fare villains that the small fry villains that the fantasy usually would go to. Places like the Mole Man, you know, Mr. Red Ape, etc. Um, I'll come to that a little bit later because that will come into one of the criticisms of the movie, significant ones actually. So yeah, on their own, great, really good. Vanessa Kirby, Sue Storm, again, especially as they realize that she's pregnant, your mother, that type of thing. That role that was, because she is the mother of the team. I think that some of the criticisms that people have of this movie, I think it goes to what at what stage of their journey or life you view the Fantastic Four. If you want to, a lot of the Fantastic Four interpretations have been up until this point where the fan four have been quite young, you know, um, in their interpretation. This is a Fantastic Four that's been around for a little bit and feels a bit more mature, a bit more older. Hence why ruins sort of feel more like they're parents and adults instead of just like, dating, as it were. And I think that's something to take in mind going into this movie. Johnny, I mean, yeah, okay, maybe they've toned down his kind of. I did feel Johnny felt a bit more toned down. I felt like in this movie, it felt more about Johnny trying to prove to the others that he's not just an idiot, which he's not. And in the movie when towards the climax of the movie where he understands Shadowbar's language, that's a major W for Johnny. But it would have been nice of them to kind of lean more into Johnny's flamboyant. He's basically Spider-Man's age, effectively. That's kind of what Joe's supposed to be like, you know, leaning into that, than just kind of like just him trying to prove that he's not just a hothead or a womanizer. Like he's also he's the heart of the team, arguably. Um, but yeah, that's I think the overall plot I think again was fine. I think the Silver Surfer aspect of it I think works. It's basically essentially like, listen, the gist of it is like Galactus wants to eat. Galactus is coming to the world to eat. He's coming soon. the Silver Surfer, who is Shalabar in this case, so is heralding Galactus coming. The Fantastic Four basically come the to try to they take their spacecraft and try and go to the realm of Galactus to find him to essentially negotiate. And Galactus is like, "Oh, we can negotiate, all right. You just give me your baby, i.e., Franklin Richards, who obviously in the comics people know was like essentially on par with Galactus, if not maybe more powerful. Give me him, so he can take my cosmic hunger away, and then I'll spare Earth." And we're like, "Oh," and I think this is one of the where I think that the movie's strengths are is that it gives you that philosophical question of how do the fan, because in this world, unlike other superhero worlds, the Fantastic Four really well liked. It was actually quite refreshing to see a world that actually doesn't hate superheroes. That's not like, "Oh, you saved me," and then you do something wrong, bam. They actually really support these guys. They love them. They cherish them as a family, as a team. They know they fight for them. So it was interesting to see the response with the whole kind of, well, should we really, you know, what would you do? Galactus is coming. Galactus is a force. Galactus, because they try to do something, but he can't be stopped. Galactus is a force of nature. Like, he cannot be stopped. So, because he can't be stopped, what do? Do you exchange the life of like your own child to save billions of people? And that was kind of especially going to the second part where I think the movie really kind of started to grow on me more, where you got a dynamic, and you could see that this decision it brought tension into the family, the quarrels between Reed and Sue. Understandably, Sue's like, he's not getting he's like, Sue is the most understandable character. He is not getting my child. I don't care. That is how any mother would be. I'm not going to live my child. I don't care if millions of people die. I'm not even taking my child. Sue's like on some, and Reed is also on some because he's thinking, because he's a thinker, thinks all the possibilities. And it was really, I mean, maybe as a guy, and especially as a guy who's about family, was thinking like, when he was doing the press conference, and they're like, "Well, what's going to happen? You're going to save us? What's going to happen?" And then it was like, "I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, there was something about that I was like, there's something empowering, in my opinion, as a guy, when you can basically tell people, when people expect you to have all the answers, to be able to solve every problem, and you literally just don't know. And people can't accept that, but it's the case. Like, there are going to be times in your life where you literally just will not know what to do. Like, and that is fine, okay? Because eventually the solution will come, but at that moment you don't know. And so that was refreshing to see from Reed and the team, and you know, and obviously eventually Galactus does come for Franklin, and but Galactus love Galactus was so badass in this movie. Like, this was Galactus. Like, when they first show him when he's got the white eyes, and they show him not his physical body, but you just see the stars, like cosmic. Like, this is a cosmic force. Like, Galactus was good. It was good to see, and when they defeated him, it was good that he was just pushed back. He wasn't like, "Oh, we're gonna just McGovern him and somehow defeat the stroke." No, no, no. He was pushed back. He was sent somewhere else. He's still alive though. He's still there. Like, there's still, he's still coming back. And when he comes back, he's gonna be pissed. But yeah, I think overall, I think like I said, criticisms I think I would say of this movie are, it's clear to me they did reshoots. I think there probably was a secondary plot going on, because at times this movie, it felt like there was a bit of a void, a bit of a nothingness. And I feel like there was probably a secondary plot going on with maybe Red Ape or something like that, which I think probably got cut because they wanted the movie to be under 2 hours. I think both the issue with this movie and Superman is that they both seem to be like, it's got to be less than 2 hours. It's got to be less than 2 hours. And I don't know why. I don't know why. I think both Superman and this movie could have easily been 2.5 hours. And I think it would have actually helped the movies. I don't think a movie anyway should be 3 hours. 3 hours is way too much. But 2.5 hours, I think, for these two movies, especially in this game, I think would have been an extra 35 minutes of both of those movies would have helped this movie a lot. To build a bit more chemistry, maybe adding in a secondary antagonist, I think would have helped. But at the same time, Maybe it didn't because they're both concise. You go out the movie thinking you want more from these films, so I enjoyed it. I enjoyed both, and like I said, I think that is this to summarize my thoughts. Is this the best MC movie? No, it's not. Is this the best Fantastic Four movie? Yes, it is. Let's not even get started on 2015. And I think if they continue making movies in this vein, I think the MCU back. Because I'll be honest, there were a lot of pre-Endgame MCU movies that were average to bad. I don't believe this idea that the MCU always had top quality movies and it all fell on Endgame. Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, 4, 2, and an Ant-Man sequel, different ones. They weren't that great. Okay, they weren't that great. But this movie is a solid, good film, a good family film, a good film that you can bring people along, enjoy, and yeah, have a balance of it. So yeah. But anyway, guys, remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Let me know what your thoughts are on the movie. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let me know. Have a nice day, guys, and cheers. Peace.